Yeah, I divorced my husband because he became a QAnon MAGA freakazoid. And I divorce your husband, ladies. Leave your husbands if they're MAGA. I know you're going to put that online, and I love it. So thank you. Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that. Because, like, realistically, I'm a pretty nice person. I really believe in others. I believe in humanity. I believe in kindness. I believe that the world should be better. I think 67% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck is disgusting. I think the fact that it went up from 60% of Americans to 67% of Americans within 1 year of the Trump presidency is scary. It's dangerous. Those kind of things are not helpful for everyone. The fact that most Americans are feeling poor is not an acceptable situation. You know, I don't think anyone feels that way. And to hear the President of the United States say that unaffordability is a lie, that affordability is a scam, well, that's not true, because every single person who's coming to this event, most people are feeling the pinch of unaffordability in the United States of America. And it is a problem. And it's not a left or a right problem. It's an up versus down problem. And we need to band together as people and be on the side of others. We need to be on the side of each other, because trusting billionaires doesn't work out well for
50% of my family is MAGA, the other 50% is not. And my husband was one of those 50% back in 2023. He voted for Trump 2 times. Yes, even after the whole January 6th thing. That was the day he changed his mind, on January 6th. But I want to tell you what it was like living with somebody who had such opposite opinions about the way the world is running and the way things could be and should be. It was actually quite horrible. And there was an entire topic that we were not allowed to discuss in our marriage, and that was politics. I'm not sure if anybody's going through that right now, but it was a really, really terrible time in our marriage where if I brought something up, it inevitably ended up in a giant fight where we were screaming at each other. We would retreat to opposite rooms, and it would take like a whole day to recover from the anger that we both felt. And I would like to blame the entire Trump administration for encouraging that kind of anger toward people. It certainly wasn't coming from the side that I was supporting, and I don't care what you say in my comments, it wasn't. That being said, when the smoke cleared and after January 6th, my husband changed his way of thinking, and it was almost like the veil was lifted and he saw what MAGA really stood for. But it was long and it was hard and it was awful. And actually, if you ask me now to point out the arguments that we had, I really couldn't tell you. I really think my brain blocked it out. I do not remember the fights, the actual fights, and what we were fighting over. I only remember the feeling. And the feeling was terrible, that some strange group of people that weren't living in my home were breaking up my marriage and coming between our great relationship. So if you're doing that right now, I'm sorry. I feel for you. And I hope you find a way out of it, because it wasn't any fun.
I've had enough, and I am breaking up with my MAGA husband. I just went and talked to a lawyer today and filed the paperwork. I really don't know what to do because I don't work and he does provide for our family. And he's also a really good dad, but I just can't handle the fact that he voted for Trump. Are any of you ladies like putting together an all-female commune for those of us that have to break up with our MAGA husband? The last straw for me was like, how come you didn't care about all of the women that were sexually assaulted and killed by illegal immigrants? Like, come on. Like, that is such a MAGA talking point. Gross. And the fact that he even uses the term illegal immigrant, I'm like, it's time for me to go.
So I'm at the oncologist today with my mother, who has stage 4 cancer. And there's this couple there who looks to be in about their 70s. And this woman is walking back from the check-in to the seats, and it's maybe 6 to 10 feet at the most. And she stops in her tracks. She's so weak. She's so tired. She's obviously the one with the cancer. And the husband has to get up and help her back to her seat. They sit down, and he pulls out his phone, and he starts going on about how Elon Musk and Trump are going to sue CNN and how great that is, because maybe some of the other news organizations will realize that Trump and Musk don't like what they're saying and they'll stop doing it. And she turns to him, frustrated and tired, and she's like, "Are you kidding me?" She goes, "They're about to cut my Medicare. They're about to cut the health care I need to beat this cancer. I don't think our government should be suing CNN." And he gets himself all in a huff, and he's like, "Ugh, you don't care. Medicare won't cover the $3,000 a month drug. That is my mother's last hope to treat her cancer. Trump His funding cuts ended the drug trial that my mother could have entered into for free to treat her cancer. And it had some promising outcomes. And this woman is sitting there saying, I don't know how I'm going to pay for the next treatment or what's going to happen to my health care. And this man only cares about protecting Elon Musk and Trump because somebody might say something bad about him. It's a cult. I don't know how else to explain it. This man's wife is losing her life to cancer, and he cares more about the cult leaders and what people say about them.
Absolutely insane story, and it ties into a lot of stories that we've been hearing from Trump supporters. I mean, I talked about this story a few days ago, but let me introduce you to George Fusco, who said 2 years ago, quote, "The Republicans will not ever be able to do away with Social Security or Medicare because they are programs which we paid for. And I believe that some Republicans in the Congress and Senate would vote to maintain both programs. If that is an issue in the future, I would vote Democrat." Now, a lot of people are personally affected. Steve Bannon said it the best, honestly. I never thought I'd say that. But Steve Bannon said, it is not just blue voters who use Medicare and Medicaid. A lot of red voters depend on both Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, a lot of people in red states. So then George Fusco says, 2 years ago, or I guess 3 years ago almost, I voted Republican because I'm concerned that our country is a socialist form of government under the Democrats, which try to force you to lose your rights. Rights guaranteed by the Constitution, blah, blah, blah. This was November 10th, 2020.
Hey, babe. Sorry to bother you during scratch and sniff time. Hey, do we still believe in the Second Amendment? Because I'm kind of confused because the president said that we can't have guns, but I thought that you always said, like, that's the most important thing. Like, no one's prying out of my cold, dead hands, you always tell me. So do we still believe in the Second Amendment? Oh, not anymore? Why? Oh, because he told you not to. Okay. Oh, and what? Guns are the problem. Like, because that radical left lunatic took a gun to a protest, so guns are the problem. But every time it happens at a school, you tell me that guns aren't the problem. So, it doesn't count against kids. It only counts with that crazy liberal because he brought a gun with him that he didn't pull out and he didn't use, and then the gun that did cause death were actually two guns from those courageous ICE agents. No, I understand. I'm sorry. No, his gun was the problem. I totally get it. Okay. Yeah, so no Second Amendment. Okay.